Well, spring is finally here, and for most of us in Canada, we haven't touched a golf club in a couple of months. And you know what that means? The body is probably a little tight and a little stiff right now. Enter the Swing Lab Performance and Therapy Center, a way you can really get your body primed for golf season. For much more on this, I had a chance to catch up with Michele Liew. Pleased to be joined by a good friend of Golf Talk Canada, Michele Liew, the owner and founder of the Swing Lab Performance and Therapy Center. Michele, welcome back to Golf Talk Canada.
Well, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had you on some point last year, and we got a lot of great feedback about the Swing Lab Performance and Therapy Center. But there are a lot of people maybe tuning in now for the first time who might think, hey, I've never heard of this. Tell our listeners
Mhm.
and viewers what this is all about.
Yeah, for sure. So at Swing Lab, basically what we do is look at how your body is being utilized in the golf swing through like physical assessment, followed by 3D motion analysis of the golf swing. So that way we can see exactly how you turn, how you tilt, how you transfer energy through the golf swing, and also if you have any physical restrictions, where are they at, and like what's causing them, and how you fire the muscles, all that fun stuff, so that we can tie everything together to learn more about your body swing connection.
So let's say I'm going in for the first time. What happens?
So when we first start with a client, the first thing we'll do is go through the assessment. So kind of like what I described earlier, we start with a physical part first, where we look at your mobility, your stability, your strength, how your muscles fire, and also like what happens with motor control when we load the different joints in different areas that we need for the golf swing. Then we'll do a 3D motion analysis of your golf swing, so that we see how you utilize the body and also figure out like why you move a certain way in the golf swing, and tie that back to what your body can and can do and figure out from there.
And the beauty of it from there is that after that first assessment, where you're doing some exercises, you're hitting some balls, then the person that you're instructing or giving advice to has some homework to do, because you give them some drills, some stretches that they need to do. And these aren't your, strength training, plyometrics, bench press, squat, deadlift, that sort of thing. These are things that help you move your body more for, hip flexibility, spine flexibility, and your back, correct?
Yeah, for sure. So based on what we see, we do a combination of stuff where it depends if your joints are more restricted. We want to work the joints, but as you work the joints, you want to release the tight muscles at the same time. So it won't be like just stretching one thing. And as we move and improve the mobility, we also want to improve your muscles activation, so that the right muscles that we need in the golf swing actually learn how to fire like properly, but also fire when they need to fire in the golf swing, so that you learn how to control the rotation and motion a different way, basically.
So, I mean, a lot of people who tune into our show, they always say, like, how good of a golfer is Mark Zucchino or Bob Weeks or Adam Scully? And they might see us, hit some big bombs out there on, with the driver. But for you, like, you've really taken a look at my swing personally. You've made a lot of changes where I used to really, it was almost like a deep sumo squat standing over the
Mhm.
ball. And when you first saw me, you looked at me and said, you realize that you really can't turn at all doing that, right? And I said, yeah, I guess you're right. So walk our listeners and viewers through what you've done for me just on a swing analysis.
Mhm. For Adam, yeah, like you mentioned, the biggest thing to start is your setup, right? A lot of people we see, especially like the better players too, is that a lot of people set up with the tilt just off by a little bit, and that affects like how open your hip joint positions are. So when you set up a little more in the sumo squat position, you are kind of restricting your hip joint itself from rotating. So when you rotate, you end up losing your spine angle and pelvis angle, just because you run out of room to rotate in the hip joint. So sometimes it may not be the hips, but more so where the spine and everything is and the posture. So for Adam, once we got through that part, we also then work on getting the muscles to fire how you rotate the hips. So that way you can actually load the hip and initiate the downswing properly without your upper body keep coming out of posture.
I mentioned I'm 31, but the beauty of Swing Lab Performance and Therapy Center is that whether you're 10, whether you're 80, whether you're a scratch, whether you're a 30 handicap, you can go and improve your overall well-being.
Yeah, for sure. Like we definitely do see a wide span of golfers from every level, different age, and a lot of times, I would say a lot of people come in here to get for their golf performance, but then at the same time, what we're doing will also help with day-to-day life so that they can move better, they can walk farther. It's easier to bend down and pick things up. So that will help everyday life as well as the golf swing.
Well, Michele, always great to catch up. Really enjoyed our last session about 2 weeks ago. Looking forward to seeing you again. I know Mark Zucchino's been by to see you, not Bob Weeks yet, but of course, TSN Radio Program Director Jeff McDonald has seen you many times, and I know you have helped change his life and golf swing because he is the biggest golf fan in the world. Michele, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me again.